In this video lesson, I'm going to teach you how to use phrasal verbs with object pronouns. I've noticed that Russian speakers often make this mistake, so I think that it's worth working at it, right? So, we move on to object pronouns, and it'll be just a quick overview, just to remind you. We use them instead of names, and they usually go after verbs. For example, I love him instead of I love Ben, when you just don't want to repeat the same word or the same name again. And also they come after prepositions. I'm in love with Helen or I'm in love with her. I think it's pretty clear. Let's go through the object pronouns. When a man is an object of an action, we say him. I like him. I like her. You like me. I like you. I like them. They like us. I like it. So the pattern is I like, and you just can put whichever object pronoun you have to put here. We move on to another important question, transitive and intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs might need an object, which means you could say I read as a fact, just I read. Not all people read, you know. Or you could use an object and continue your sentence. I read a book or I read online magazines. In this case, the action is sort of directed at some object, right? Intransitive verbs never need an object. I get up at 7 a.m. Imagine in Russian you would say «Я встаю своего сына». You would never say that, right? It means that you cannot direct the action at some object. You cannot do that. It's intransitive. Why is that important for us? Let's look at the examples. These examples are all about phrasal verbs, and as you can see, they include names of objects, which means that they are transitive. It means that you can do something with some object. So, let's see. Turn down the music, or turn the music down. Shut down the laptop, or shut the laptop down. I'm pretty sure you've noticed that there are two options here. You can either put the noun or a name after the phrasal verb or between the verb and the preposition. If you look at the third section, you will see that it has only one option. There's only one option, and it's about using object pronouns. You cannot put object pronouns after the phrasal verb. You have to use the sandwich pattern. I'm pretty sure you have the visual, right? You get what I mean. Turn and down are two pieces of bread, and it is a piece of cheese, or whatever you like to put between your pieces of bread. It might be a piece of ham or, I don't know, a green salad. So, turn it down, shut it down, and of course, here you can hear the flap T sound, shut it down. So, transitive phrasal verbs together with object pronouns make kinda sandwich. Let's practice pronouncing it together with me. Just repeat after me. Shut it down. Break it down. Bring it down. Close it down. It's a clear pattern, right? So this is really, really easy if you remember that it's a sandwich. Okay, now here's an interesting twist. You know that in fast speech, people tend to make words shorter, and sometimes they just do not pronounce some sounds. You've probably seen it before in some songs, or you've heard it in TV shows, American TV shows. So, him and them in fast speech are reduced to im and em. Okay, you might hear tell him all about it, tell him all about it. But when people speak really fast, they say tell him all about it, tell him all about it, tell him, tell him. Tell them all about it, tell them all about it. Tell them all about it, tell them all about it. I'm gonna give you a second to say it together with me. Tell them all about it. Good. Tell them all about it. Just be careful with pronouncing the two sounds. Tell him, im, em, and tell him, im, em. They're two different sounds. Don't confuse the person that you're talking to. So we move on to activity time. Replace the nouns or names with object pronouns, and please follow the sandwich pattern, okay? So turn down the music. Just say it out loud right now. Practice it. Okay, now I'm gonna tell you the correct way, and you can compare it with what you've just said. Turn it down. Well, I think you got it. It's pretty easy, right? They brought down the government. Good. They brought it down. You let your parents down. This is already a sandwich, so you just have to replace this with you let them down, or you let them down, let them down. Good. And you see let them, because you pronounce it not like them, but like m. This is a vowel, glasna. Now you get a flap T here. Let them, you let them down. Perfect. They closed down the business. Good. They closed it down. Nothing comes Ben down. Nothing comes him down. Or nothing comes him down. Good. And finally, we have to break down the wall, like between us. Okay, the sandwich. We have to break it down. That's it. You can check yourself here. You can practice pronouncing it. Comprehension questions now. I'm going to ask you a question. You have to answer it out loud as if I'm listening to you. Imagine that I'm listening to you and I can correct you. So, what object pronouns do you know? How do you change I, you, he, she, they, we, it? Okay, I think you've just answered it. Good job. Question 2. Which of the pronouns can be shortened when people speak fast? There are 2 of them, right? And how do they sound? Great job. And finally, where do you have to put an object pronoun with transitive phrasal verbs? Well, if you just said a sandwich, then you're right. You got it. You can check your answers here on this page. I think you had no trouble answering the questions. So, thank you for joining today's class, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Have a good day.